I'm going to discuss the chapter atmosphere from your second term syllabus. What is atmosphere? It is the most important domain of the earth. It is mainly made up of airs which surrounds the earth, or you can say atmosphere. It acts as a blanket. The temperature of the atmosphere decreases with increasing height at the rate of about 6.4 degrees C per centimeter. Per kilometer. Next, pressure difference makes the air move. It moves from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure. Winds causes change in weather. Example, when cold wind passes over a place, they lower the temperature of a place, and winds carrying moisture bring rain to a place. Next, the composition of the atmosphere. Air is a mixture of various gases and dust particles. What is air? It is a mixture of various gases and dust particle. It is mainly composed of 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% of argon, carbon dioxide, etc. Next is atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure generally decreases with increasing height. Atmospheric pressure generally decreases with increasing height. It varies from place to place and with height. As air near the Earth's surface is denser, the air that we find near the Earth's surface, they are very dense. Due to that, the air pressure is also more. Now, if you climb higher, so you are climbing a mountain, what will happen? The air it will start getting thinner. The air it will get starting thinner, and due to that, the pressure will also decrease. Now, atmospheric pressure, it depends on three factors. What are the? Altitude, temperature, and water vapor. Altitude. As one goes up, the pressure of the air decreases. Generally speaking, the decrease in pressure is at a rate of 1 centimeter for every 110 meters of ascent. Means after every 110 meter, the pressure decreases by 1 centimeter. Hence, pressure decreases as altitude increases. Next point is temperature. When the temperature rises, air expands in volume. It becomes less dense and exerts less pressure. When the temperature rises, air expands its volume and it becomes less dense and exerts less pressure. For example, in the equatorial areas, as the area get direct rays of the sun, temperature is always on the higher side. In the equatorial areas, as the area gets the direct rays of the sun, the temperature is always on the higher side and giving rise to a low pressure. Next, structure of atmosphere. The atmosphere, it consists of 5 layers. Our atmosphere, it consists of 5 layers: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere, and exosphere. Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere, and exosphere. Now, troposphere. It is the lowermost layer of the atmosphere. All weather changes that we observe throughout the day. It happens in, or it occurs in, the layer troposphere. Average height of troposphere is 14 kilometer. The height of troposphere in the polar areas is about 8 kilometer and 16 kilometer in the equatorial areas. Temperature decreases. There's a decrease of temperature with increasing altitude. Means the temperature decreases with increasing height. Next is stratosphere. This layer is free of water vapor and extends from 15 to 50 km. temperature does not change with altitude. And number 3 importance is it has an ozone layer which is known as ozonosphere. It protects us from the ultraviolet radiations of the sun. Next is mesosphere. It extends between 50 to 80 km above the surface of the earth. Meteors coming from the space are mostly burned up in this layer. Temperature decreases with height in this layer. Next, thermosphere or ionosphere. It extends between 80 to about 450 km. It contains ion which reflects back the radio waves towards the earth, which helps in wireless communication. But it contains ion, it reflects back the radio waves back to the earth, which helps in wireless communication. Exosphere is the uppermost layer extending between 450 to 1500 kilometers from the sea level. It merges with the outer space. Temperature increases with increase in height. There are two types of gases found in exosphere. They are hydrogen and helium. So this is all about the structure of atmosphere. Next, global warming. What is global warming? It is the increase in temperature throughout the world, or increase in temperature globally, or you can say it is the rise in global temperature. Now, what are the causes of ozone depletion? The causes of ozone depletion are burning of fossil fuel, emission of greenhouse gases, chemical used in refrigerators, etc. So the chemical that is used in aerosol sprays, refrigerators and making plastic cartoons, it contain a harmful chemical which is called chlorofluorocarbons. When the refrigerators that we use in our houses, when they are in use, the CFCs are safely contained in it. But when the refrigerators is thrown away or broken up, the CFCs are released into the atmosphere. Next is the effect of ozone depletion. Number 1, fail to absorb the ultraviolet rays. As the ozone layer is destroyed or becoming very thin, it fails to absorb the ultraviolet radiation. As a result of this incoming radiation, it causes damages to plant life, causes damages to human beings and even to the marine life. Next, causes human beings are exposed to different diseases. Skin cancer and the eye cataract is mainly causing due to this ultraviolet radiations. Next, efforts to prevent ozone depletion. Number 1, limit private vehicles driving and use public buses or government buses. Avoid using pesticide. Use eco-friendly household cleaning products. Next, impact of global warming. Number 1, climate change. Number 2, change in rainfall pattern and frequency of extreme weather events. In climate change, there is an evidence of climate change which includes instrumental temperature record, rising sea level and decreasing snow cover in the northern hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere. Change in rainfall pattern and the frequency of extreme weather events. Change in the climate may be due to natural causes, example the increase in the sun's radiation due to depletion of ozone layer and because of human activities. Changing the composition of the atmosphere and burning of fossil fuel has has led to an increase in the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Human-induced warming could lead to a large-scale, irreversible and abrupt change in physical system. Example, melting of ice sheets, which contribute to rising sea level. So this is the impact of global warming. Now, ways to reduce global warming. How can you reduce global warming? Reduction in the release of carbon dioxide, conservation of forest, control use of CFCs. Since carbon dioxide account for nearly half of the greenhouse gases, the best way to solve the problem would be to use sources of energy like wind, hydroelectricity, geothermal, solar, tidal and nuclear energy, which do not produce carbon dioxide and which do not produce carbon dioxide. Therefore, serious steps should be taken to reduce global warming. For example, conservation of forest, reduced release of CO2 in the atmosphere by taking measures to save the ozone layer from further depletion by controlling the CFCs.